Hello, my name is Corey Trigger. I currently work as a student statutory planner at the Mornington Peninsula Shire Council, where my main role is to assess planning applications. Today, I will be talking about my experience on the real and ideal in planning, focusing mainly on planning for disasters. Weber et al. 2019 discusses the reality of bushfire preparedness in peri-urban areas, finding that some households located within a high to medium bushfire risk area are ill prepared for a bushfire event, despite the fire safety campaign efforts from the CFS, which is the relevant fire authority. Obviously, those efforts would result in the ideal situation of all households being prepared for a bushfire event, but clearly these findings show that is not the reality. My experience as a statutory planner in an area similar to what was discussed, where 90% of the land mass is considered bushfire prone and around 60% is covered by a bushfire overlay. So a good amount of my applications are assessed with bushfire adaptation elements. Ideally, these efforts result, which include implementing the BLL standards shown on the PowerPoint under ideal there, will result in effective bushfire adaptation. This could well be the case, but most likely, as the findings suggest from the literature, these efforts are most likely not going to be the reality of what will happen in the bushfire event. In my mind, the only way to completely adapt to a bushfire risk area is to not build or further develop in those areas, or most likely the reality of what's going to happen will be the second image. This is similar to our tutorial discussion on Wednesday morning surrounding the outcome of the flooding walls at the Flemington Racecourse and the surrounding area, being that the reality of what's going to happen is people in that area not going to be able to build or live in the areas that are susceptible to flooding due to the risk it's going to have on human life. Obviously, this isn't a very politically popular solution, as it results in people losing money. It would be an ideal situation would be to find a solution that results in everyone being happy through, I suppose, in that situation, flood walls or other adaptation methods, but that is just unfeasible, and that's not what's going to happen in the future, unfortunately. Which brings me to my other experience that I've had at Mornington, being that I can already see the real starting to be implemented into practice. Specifically, we've introduced new planning controls that have run down the western port coastline, and require new proposals to undergo a coastal hazard vulnerability assessment, which show, and if this assessment shows that sea level rise will damage any property or human life would be threatened in any way, then we would refuse this application. Which brings me to my reflective question, being, is the failure to achieve the ideal in planning a systematic problem? And are there ways to make the real more ideal? Thank you for listening.